Hello and welcome to my channel. So I kind of just want to use this channel to really talk about things that are important to me, and something that was just on my heart heavy today was breaking generational cycles and trusting your path. It's really hard to do that. Nobody talks about it enough. Everyone always just talks about all of the lolly-dolly cute stuff, and that's great too. We should definitely celebrate our wins. But I think it's really important to talk about how you got there and what you're dealing with eternally. Me personally, I grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I didn't have the blueprint for success. I don't think anybody really does generally. Even if you think you have the blueprint for success, sometimes you really don't, because you still have to navigate through those internal work. So, with that being said, I used to think I was behind in life, and to some I might be, but that's not their life. And you really have to fight against that survival mode and look at your life and know that these struggles just aren't your own struggles. The healing isn't just personal, it's ancestral. Doing the work that has never been done before is really, really hard, because you're leading the way, and leading the way requires you to be a leader. And being a leader is pretty tough, but it's rewarding, and I think it will grant you so much fortune in the future if you take that time to really sit with yourself and do that work. If you're first in your family, chasing something bigger, breaking toxic patterns, or creating a new reality for yourself is like war. You're doing what no one else has done before, without the tools, without the support. You're taking steps, and you might not get that, celebration. You might not get people that really notice you or see what you're doing. It's very rare. Only some really notice that. So it's very important to silence the noise and silence the self-doubt. Social media is a big part in that. And I don't say totally deactivate your social media and do this whole healing journey, because I don't think that's realistic, but it is realistic for some. But for me personally, I wanted to use social media to really document this and just talk about things that I think about on the daily and things that I think are important in the world. So social media, they make success look effortless. It makes it look so cool. You have a cool apartment, you have cool things, you have, maybe you're an influencer and things are working out for you, and that is amazing. I think you should celebrate that. But to somebody that is really just trying to believe in themselves, sometimes it could be challenging for them to see more than what the bigger picture is. And I've had moments where I've questioned everything. If I was making the right choices, if this career path was for me, if these relationships were for me. I was moving pretty fast, but I reminded myself that I'm building something real, not just something that looks good on the outside. I'm doing something that is sustainable and is going to make me happier than ever one day. I used to let other people's timelines, success stories make me feel like I was failing, but I've learned to look at success on the surface. Doesn't mean anything if it's not really built on self-awareness and true growth. And I think true growth is definitely internal. So the reality of success being internal and growing in that, I've been in rooms with successful people, celebrities, business owners, and influencers, and I can tell you firsthand, success does not mean happiness. I've seen people with money and status still completely feel lost inside. There was a time when I thought, I've made it. I feel so secure. But when I finally got into certain spaces, I realized that the external success doesn't fix the internal wounds. Real success isn't just financial. It's learning to trust yourself. You have to trust yourself. If you don't trust yourself, how are you going to be able to trust somebody else? And in order for you to trust somebody else, you really have to know that this person trusts themselves to lead you in the right direction. So yeah, you got to trust yourself. Set it boundaries, breaking toxic cycles, and healing from the past. I think in our generation, we do have a tendency to feel alone in that journey, and it is a very hard, lonely journey. And with that being said, sometimes we might indulge in toxic environments because we don't want to sit with ourselves. This pain feels too deep, and it's almost playing victim in a sense, because you're like, I don't want to feel this way. I just want to go out and drink with my friends and kind of numb all of the pain and numb anything that's putting me in a way of feeling more than happy, which is overstimulating yourself. You're overstimulating yourself to feel good, so you don't have to acknowledge what doesn't feel good. And what doesn't feel good in your life is pretty hard. So you got to trust yourself, stay on course. There's many times where I wanted to quit. Like every day, sometimes I wake up and I'm like, what am I doing? What is this for? I should just move across the country, move across the world, and just never come back and speak to any of these people ever again. But I thought I was wasting my time, but really I was just going through this experience because this was my training grounds. My training grounds for something better. My training grounds to be observant. I've had to learn to sit with uncertainty, to stop chasing validation, and start using and trusting that I am making progress, even when I can't see it yet. You don't have to have everything figured out. That's not what this channel is for, and that's not what I'm telling you have to do. You just have to take the next step, be aware, and you'll build something real. And building something real is reframing success and celebrating these small wins. A big part of breaking generational cycles is realizing that success isn't about money, isn't about fame, isn't about that business that looks great or even that body that looks great. It's about freedom, financial freedom. Yes, but also mental and emotional freedom. To really have emotional intelligence, be aware of yourself, know yourself. But in order for you to know yourself, you have to be able to sit with yourself in a comfortable manner while everyone around you may look like they've given up on you or, don't really appreciate you. You have to have that freedom and that emotional intelligence to say, you know what? I'm going to be myself and I'm going to have a great time and I'm just going to keep doing the work. For me, small wins have been learning financial literacy, prioritizing my well-being, whether that's yoga, even creating this video is really helpful for me, and choosing to believe in myself, even when nobody else does. And I think that's the hardest part. Even just being able to know like, hey, this person might not have the capacity to believe in me. And there's no shade. It's not saying that they're bad people or anything like that, but if they don't have the tendency to believe in you because they're putting so much emphasis on themselves, sometimes they don't have that capacity. But if you continue to do the work, whether it's therapy, meditation, yoga, breaking bad habits, you're unlearning no longer that serves you. You're learning and relearning things and you're succeeding. And those are very big wins. So I just want to let you know that you're doing great. And I know it's hard. I know the feeling of carrying the weight of generational karma and generational cycles on your back, but you are not behind. You are not failing. You're building something that will change your life, your future life, and just keep going.